Hello, and welcome back to Squares on Couch.
I'm Will.
And I'm Dan. We're gonna play some Ultimate Spider-Man for you.
Alright.
Woo! Create new profile.
Do it.
Slayer 1.
Is that what we're going with?
Yes, Slayer 1.
Dun 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 dun. Very metal. I like it. It's a very romantic screen.
Sure.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we dinked around with it a bit. We can't really find any way to do subtitles.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, if you don't know what Spider-Man is, this guy is Peter Parker. He gets bit by a spider, and then he gets spider powers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people know who Spider-Man is.
You've had like a billion Spider-Man movies. I don't know how you've avoided them.
If you don't know what Ultimate Spider-Man is, though, in the early mid-2000s or so, Marvel decided to create an alternate universe to bring in new readership, because going into a comic store and being like, I want to read Spider-Man, and the guy handing you issue number 500 gajillion makes you go, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
It's a bit daunting, trying to hop in that far back.
So starting at issue 1, 12, 30 is way easier because it's easier to catch up. So it worked on me. I the Ultimate Spider-Man is how I got into comics to begin with. It was really when I first started dedicating time to reading comics.
So their tactic worked, is what you're saying?
Yes. I'm watching Black Suit Spider-Man. So, in the main universe 616, that's the main Marvel universe for people who don't know.
That is the canon.
The canon universe. Venom is a symbiote, which is an alien race from space that latches onto Spider-Man and becomes addicted to him.
Yeah.
In the Ultimate Universe, he is a cure for cancer.
Which is ironic.
I think he technically actually worked, but he's got some adverse side effects.
Actually, isn't that there's a new Spider-Man game coming out pretty soon, right? For the,
2018,
PS4?
yeah.
2018. The main bad guy that was showcased in the E3 trailer, Negative Man?
Negative Man.
Didn't he have something to do with, like, he was made to cure the symbiote?
Maybe.
Something like that?
I don't really know Negative Man's deal. I've seen him in like one comic, and he wasn't really the central focus.
So for Negative Man, he has sort of a split personality. His good side, which is like a doctor, and he runs a health clinic, and like Aunt May works for him even. And then there's his evil bad guy side.
His negative side.
His negative side. And then he's a bad guy with bad guy powers.
Ah.
And at some point, I think he actually gets this symbiote, but like his ability to cure everything reacts poorly with it, and he tries to cure the symbiote.
Ah. Doesn't go well, I assume.
It does not.
Ah.
But let's see if that actually happens.
So, for a PS2 game, this game's pretty gorgeous. I mean, it's a little fuzzy, obviously, but the cel-shaded comic styles holds up well.
Yeah. I mean, as most people will know by now, stylistic choices usually hold it better than trying to make a realistic-looking game.
Oh, I think I gotta get him to...
Oh, can you shot that guy?
I hope so. Oh, hold on 1 second. Camera.
Let's go ahead and
Camera.
fix that camera.
Okay.
Beautiful. Let's invert everything.
Yeah, I don't... Is that invert? I don't feel like that's invert. Maybe I'm used to it.
Maybe you're used to inverted, yeah.
I don't...
Do you play a lot of pilot sims?
I don't. But I just want... When I put my stick up, I want to... Oh, he just walked right through that electricity.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter. Just set dressing.
Oh, he does it in the cutscene. That's what happens.
Oh, okay.
Probably. So bullets do not work on Venom, in general.
Yeah. I like how much Spider-Man contributed.
He's like, should I stop him? Nah.
Three months later.
I need it.
It's not done.
Give it back.
It's really not done.
So, another thing, but this isn't like, doesn't really, it briefly goes over his origin, but this is well into, the Ultimate Spider-Man, storyline. So, Mary
You're not gonna see him
Jane,
getting bit by a spider anytime soon.
yeah, Mary Jane knows he's Spider-Man. I think Gwen Stacy might be dead already.
I mean, if he's dating Mary Jane.
I can't, well, that doesn't happen in the Ultimate Universe.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he dates Mary Jane, or dates Gwen Stacy in, in Ultimate Universe. He goes straight to Mary Jane. I do think Gwen Stacy's parents die or something, because she does move in with him.
Stacy.
She becomes more of a sister, to Spider-Man. And then she gets eaten by Carnage.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I don't remember if this is after that or not. She might be in this game, or she might not be.
I mean, if we have Venom, it makes sense to have Carnage here, too.
So I'm not going into this game blind. I've played this game before. It is one of my absolute favorite superhero games of all time. Carnage is in this game. I can't remember if it's supposed to go over his origin or not, or if he just shows up. I don't remember. But yeah, Gwen Stacy gets eaten by Carnage, and then later Carnage shows up again with like Peter Parker's dad's DNA or something, and
That's weird.
he looks like Peter Parker's dad, and I might be wrong on that, but that's how I remember it. And then they defeat him, and then he turns into Gwen Stacy, and he is Gwen Stacy. So Gwen Stacy is Carnage. But like
Like, I remember that happening in the comic books.
yeah, like Gwen Stacy in the Ultimate Universe is created because, like, I don't know, Carnage just solidifies and becomes Gwen Stacy because it ate her at some point. It was really weird and bizarre, but Gwen Stacy's
Like a
cool.
clone, but not exactly a clone.
Yeah, she's a clone.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of weird clone stuff in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And multiple universe stuff, and Spider-Man galore. And women.
And women. Like, even though they all do pretty much have, like, the same power set, I do like the whole Spider cast. Like,
Yeah. It's mostly rebalancing and stuff. So, like, Spider-Man is stronger than, say, Silk, but Silk is faster and has more attuned Spidey senses.
Which is an important, like, like, you don't think of the Spidey senses when you think of Spider-Man necessarily. You think of, like, the web slinging, the wall crawling.
Yeah.
But that's, like,
That's like his best power,
Yeah.
is the Spidey senses.
being able to see the future.
Yeah.
Like, that's underrated.
I never knew your name was Herman.
So this is the shocker.
He's the coolest.
No,
He
he's
has
a
a
big...
very stylish parka. What about?
He's a giant loser. I think he's crapped upon in like almost everything he's in. He probably was taken seriously like the first time we saw him. So I just gotta web him up, and then look at that. It's
They're
just
great.
Web up his hands and call it a day.
You should just web up his hands.
I
and
just
call it a
webbed
day.
up his hands and called it a day.
Oh,
So-
boy, look at that.
He's a giant joke most of the time, especially in the Ultimate Universe, until at one point he manages to like luck out and like just knock out Peter Parker, and he drags him to a warehouse as Spider-Man, and he unmasks him, and he's just like, I'm going to find out who Spider-Man is, and he does, and then like, who are you? I don't know who you are. I've got nothing to go by on this. You're just some kid.
Like, honestly, what are they expecting? Like, to recognize?
Yeah, I think
Like, oh, you're the guy from the supermarket.
I think
Ah.
Kingpin finds out who's like, or unmasks Spider-Man at some point and goes through a similar thing where it's just like, he gets unmasked a lot in Ultimate Spider-Man,
Yeah.
but just people just don't, like, he's just some teenage kid with brown hair. What are you gonna put out, like an APB on a white kid with brown hair?
I mean, there's a few famous superheroes. Like Tony Stark is obviously, he's got a public presence. You can recognize him in or out of the suit.
Right.
You got Bruce Banner, who's a famous scientist. You know, there are people who exist that you will be able to recognize. So it is a bit weird that in the Marvel Universe, you can see Spider-Man and be like, oh, I have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
Actually, come to think of it, most superheroes in the Marvel Universe, like, they have pretty visible facial features, don't they?
Yeah.
Like a famous, like She-Hulk. She's a famous lawyer, right?
Yeah, she's a lawyer. I want to say I heard that she's getting like a Netflix series, or they want to do one for her.
For She-Hulk?
For She-Hulk.
I don't watch that.
I'm not 100% positive that's a thing. She might just show up in Daredevil. That's what I would do. I would just have her show up in
You know
Daredevil. Like, it's like, oh.
I mean, he's a lawyer, she's a lawyer.
They're both lawyers, and just have a whole entire season of Daredevil versus She-Hulk, and just make it Marvel Phoenix Wright.
I would love that.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
That'd be great. Whee!
Climbing up walls.
Excellent.
So we get to do a little bit of free roaming here.
Man, there's...
So, like, the web swinging, I just gotta show this off for a second, because it is so tight in this game. Like, this is a PS2 game, and it just feels super good. Oh, there's crime afoot. But
I remember a quote by Shigeru Miyamoto, where he was talking about what you need to make a good game, and he was talking about his Mario games, and how when he was developing Super Mario 64, the thing that he cared most about was that it was fun to just move about the world, and that playing it was just an enjoyable experience without having to have any goals, without having
Oh my
to
god,
have
that cop just tried
any
to shoot this
story about
guy.
it. That cop's a criminal.
Yeah.
Put that shit up. But yeah, I think that's something that the Spider-Man games can do really well, is that even if you don't have, if you're not following the story, if you're just running around, it's still a lot of fun just to
But
be
yeah,
playing
like
the game.
if you look, it's like all the webs are connected to. Okay, it is a bad example. It's connected to that pipe, not the sky.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the webs are connected to specific things.
There's a sense of momentum.
Yes, you can push square to go faster because you're leaning your weight into it. So this all really started with Spider-Man 2, which was also on the PS2, which was a movie tie-in game to those Tobey Maguire movies.
Maybe
And
just like the one good movie tie-in game.
I mean, there's a couple that are like okay, and especially like in the Sega Genesis and SNES eras, there's some pretty good Disney tie-in games. But like, yeah, no, like Spider-Man 2 is weirdly amazing for being a movie tie-in game.
Yeah.
Quick race around Queens. What is this? You think just because you can fly in a streak of fire, ooh, you can beat me?
Oh, he's real hot stuff, isn't he?
Oh,
And I've got 2 words for you. Bring it on.
so
2 words?
that's 3 words.
It is.
That was 3 words.
A bit of a
You're supposed to be smart, Peter.
bit of a Philatides moment,
You're supposed to be smart. You make web shooters.
right?
Just a second ago, you were talking about how you thought you could cure cancer. That's why you stole the Venom symbiote. You're like, oh man, I can finish the work my father started and cure cancer. And now you can't count to 3.
Like I've always thought that Peter Parker's skill set was a little convoluted, to be honest. Like he's great, an engineer, sure. He's a biologist because he can make the web fluid and cure cancer. Awesome. Now he's also like a photographer. He like
So he's not a photographer in this one. He's a web designer.
but still, you know what I mean, though. Right?
Yeah, so he takes some pictures of Spider-Man in Ultimate Universe, and then he like goes in the Daily Bugle, and they're like, "Oh, our website sucks," and he's like, "I know stuff about websites. I will manage your website." And so that's what he does for the Daily Bugle. Oh, timely Speedball reference right there.
Hey.
So Speedball is the guy who started in the comics, who started all the Civil War mess. Like he crashed into an orphanage and killed a bunch of orphans or something, and everyone was like, "Oh God, all these superheroes need to be registered." And that was a giant mess.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Speedball's got a cool power set.
doesn't he bounce off stuff?
Yeah, but really fast.
Yeah,
Like Quicksilver, but like with a little more
but
functionality,
not
more
as
specialized.
cool. Actually, Pietro isn't that cool. He's kind of a shitter.
Yeah. I do like him in the new X-Men movie.
Oh, he's great in the movies.
He's great in the movies.
He's great in the X-Men movies. He's like
Yeah.
in the Avengers. Yeah,
Oh, that's not even a thing.
yeah. There was a meme once, and it was like, oh, it was Captain America's. Hey, my shield's made out of vibranium. What's yours made out of? Hawkeye, and he's like Quicksilver.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You're faster than I thought. Now I own you. And look me up. I'm usually hanging out by the Baxter building.
So
I
as
didn't
far
know that's how that works.
Yep. I mean, it's the Ultimate Universe. Anything goes. So. Oh my
Wow,
gosh, they're
let's-
just giving me shit
click through
to
all
do,
these.
and I shouldn't have just clicked through all that. Okay. Finishing city goals advances the story. City goals on the pause menu will show what to do next. What is this? How to save? You can have
Press
a look
the
around.
select button to view the overhead map.
So.
Hey!
Oh, that's actually 3D map. That's cool.
That is.
It
Is that 3D or is that just 2D with like little button overlays?
looks 3D. Because you can see how
No, you're right, yeah.
Yep.
There's a little motion parallax there. Or that's not the right word, but whatever.
Ooh,
Nice back
oh
flip.
my god, those flips. Look at him. He's
Sick.
freaking Spider-Man,
Love
man. It's so good.
So stylish.
So, yeah, so this is like one of the first, like, it might be the only, as far as I'm know, video game to take place in the Ultimate Universe. So we're gonna see a lot of
Ultimate
cameos.
Alliance.
That does not actually take place in the Ultimate
That is
Universe.
so strange.
Ultimate Alliance is, I want to say 616.
It's not in the Ultimate Universe.
It might
it's
even
just
be its
the
own
best
thing.
Alliance.
Yes, it's just a really good alliance.
Oh man.
But so this one's the only one that takes place in the Ultimate Universe. So they take the opportunity to introduce like Ultimate Johnny Storm. I think he's the only one of the Fantastic Four we meet. But I think at one point Ultimate Wolverine shows up, who's a little weird, a little
I don't know. I've never been the biggest fan of Wolverine. To be honest.
yeah. There's because they do this whole because they're all teenagers in this one. So there's this. They keep the romance.
Teenage Wolverine.
No, not Wolverine. Wolverine's not, but the other X-Men are.
yeah, there we
So
go.
they still keep the Jean Grey Wolverine romance going on. So like, it's really awkward because she's like 16 and he's like 60
I mean,
because
honestly,
he's
though,
from
like,
like World War II or
in whatever
something.
timeline, he's going to
Or
be way older than she
He's
is.
from Vietnam or
But yeah.
like he's.
If
Alright,
she
I'm
was
just
16,
swinging
she would
around
be
aimlessly
messing
at this
around.
point, but I think I'm going to start heading to this green dot.
Let's do it. Green dot it is. Oh, if we get on that bridge.
Of course we can go on this bridge.
Love it.
How do you think we're going to get into town? We were in Queens, and now we're going to go into like
Kings.
yes.
I don't know how Manhattan works. I've never been there.
I think Brooklyn. I don't know. Maybe it'll tell. Oh my god,
I know people hate Jersey for some reason.
Jersey's great. Ms. Marvel's from Jersey.
What?
That's the only good
That's-
thing about Jersey.
That's the one I gotta read. I gotta read Miss Marvel.
Yes, that's the new Ms. Marvel, Kamala
Miss
Khan,
Marvel, yeah.
who's really more of a weird, stretchy person than she is, but she's great. I love her, platonically.
Huh. So on level of stretchiness, how would you rate her? Would she be like a Mr. Fantastic level stretchiness, or would she just
Well,
be like...
so it's not stretchy powers specifically. It's more like polymorphing, but she uses it to stretch a lot. So she can theoretically actually become a couch.
Interesting.
And she's got a healing factor, and she usually uses it to make herself just like huge. Comic book token found. Check out unlockable screen.
Nice, we can unlock stuff. This looks sad.
Oh shit!
So we're back to the flashback then.
Yeah.
Tombs.
Oh,
man.
that's it's Vulture.
I'm in Queens and listen.
Man, he looks way younger.
He does. Everyone in the Ultimate Universe is a bit younger.
I mean, that makes sense, because like in the original timeline, they started in what? The 40s, the 50s?
Don't know how many.
And they've like been slightly
All
aged
right.
up since then.
So we're gonna learn a big thing about this game coming up right now, and that is that you do not only play as Spider-Man in this game.
You play as a henticle monster
Yes.
who hates
Named
shoes.
Venom. So look,
And that actually might be a good place to cut off for
yeah.
our first episode.
So yeah, we're gonna end it here, and next time you get to see us be Venom.
Nice.
That's gonna be great.
Remember that Squares on a Couch. We look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, bye.